Well, thank you everybody for being here. I'm proud to welcome Dr. Kim to the Texas Governor's Mansion. I know that there may be people in Korea who will be watching this also, and from the state of Texas, let me say to the people of Korea, we're so proud to have Samsung gather with us right here at the Governor's Mansion in Austin, Texas. Dr. Kim serves as the Vice Chairman and the CEO for Samsung. And I want to thank also everybody who is with us here tonight for being here for what is an historic announcement, the impact of which will not be felt just here in Texas, but actually will impact the entire world. After a thorough and comprehensive search, Samsung has chosen Taylor, Texas as the site of its new state-of-the-art semiconductor chip fabrication plant. This plant will produce the semiconductor chips that will power the technology that we use every single day. Samsung had many other options for this project, and I want you to know Texas is grateful that you chose Texas for this project. Thank you, Samsung. Importantly, this project will create more than 2,000 jobs and will have an initial capital investment of $17 billion. This is the largest foreign direct investment in the state of Texas ever. Thank you again, Samsung, for such a large investment. The implications of this facility extend far beyond the boundaries of Texas. It's going to impact the entire world. As you all know, we face a global shortage of semiconductor chips. And I want you to know that Texas is working with Samsung to provide long-term solutions for the world's growing chip shortage. Investments of this magnitude, they don't just happen overnight. They are the result of hard work that is put in at the federal level, at the state level, and at the local level. I want to thank our federal partners, Senator John Cornyn and Congressman Michael McCall, who have been working on the Federal CHIPS Act, in addition to thanking Congressman Carter, who I know also is working on the CHIP Act, but importantly, this project will be located in Congressman Carter's district. And also want to thank all state legislative leaders for everything they did to get this project to the finish line. And very importantly, a very special thank you to Williamson County Judge Bill Gravel and Taylor Mayor Brant Rydell, as well as all of the economic development professionals who made this investment possible. And of course, I want to thank Dr. Kim and Samsung, who have been tremendous partners throughout this process. This facility in Taylor is a massive expansion of Samsung's presence in Texas, which already has 2 semiconductor plants in Austin. Texas is proud to be Samsung's only state they are involved in the United States for semiconductor fabrication plants. Today's announcement is a testament to the economic environment that we have built in Texas. It's a model built on low taxes, reasonable regulations, robust infrastructure, world-class universities, and the best workforce in America. I want to thank everybody who made this day possible. And once again, I want to thank Dr. Kim and Samsung for investing in Texas. And we look forward to our continued partnership as we see through the process of construction and to begin to see the chips roll off the assembly line. Thank you again to Dr. Kim and to Samsung.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now, Dr. Kim.
Thank you, Governor Abbott, for inviting us to the mentions on this special occasion, please allow us to start by extending our most heartfelt appreciation to the distinguished guests and staff joining us here, Senator Cornyn, Congressman McCall, Congressman Carroll, Williamson County Judge Gravel, and Taylor City Mayor Ladell for making precious time to witness this historic moment. Before I begin, I would like to emphasize that we greatly appreciate the efforts and initiative put forward by the Biden administration and bipartisan congressional leaders that show their utmost support of various measures for U.S. semiconductor manufacturing. It is a great honor and privilege to announce today that Samsung Electronics has chosen Texas, more specifically the city of Taylor in Williamson County, to build a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility with an expected capital investment of $17 billion US. Texas has proven that it can create a business environment conducive for companies to grow and thrive. Samsung has been proud to call Texas home for the past 25 years, and it is one of our greatest treasures. Because we do care about the prosperity of all communities we call home, we are thrilled to start our new chapter that will create more than 2,000 jobs, as well as thousands of indirect employment opportunities. Looking back, it has been more than a year of great deliberation on multiple projects in multiple locations. A long journey for sure, but a very important and rewarding one. Our decision was based on a set of key factors for consideration, such as incentive programs, infrastructure readiness and stability, synergy with our global operation, excellent talent pool, and long-term co-prosperity with local governments and communities to grow together. We would like to share our sincere gratitude with everyone who has been part of this journey with us from the beginning, especially to representatives from the great state of Texas, Williamson County, and City of Taylor. Thank you for your tireless effort, patience, understanding, and unwavering support leading to this great finale. This U site in Central Texas will be a bridge connecting the shining past and present of our current facility in Austin to the bright future full of the possibilities. Please join us in celebrating this proud chapter of our history. Thank you. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Dr. Kim. Very well said. Now, Senator Cornyn.
Well, it's a pleasure to join all of you here today. I want to thank my friend of long standing, not my old friend, my friend of long standing, Governor Abbott, for hosting us. And a big thank you to Dr. Kim and our friends at Samsung for giving us a reason to celebrate. I'm also glad to be here with my friends from the United States Congress, Michael McCall and John Carter, as well as so many other distinguished officials to welcome this historic investment in Central Texas. Silicon Hills is beginning to grow, and I couldn't be happier than to have Samsung help deepen their ties to the Lone Star State. As you've heard, they've made a decision to build a new chip fab, or fabrication facility, a manufacturing facility, which will bring incredible investments, jobs, and opportunities to the region. It will also help us close a major security gap for our nation. Over the summer, I visited Samsung's Austin Semiconductor facility to discuss the far-reaching impact of our current chip shortage. I participated in a number of roundtables all over the state with industry leaders, including GM, Toyota, Dell, HP, Boeing, Raytheon, BAE Systems, and many others, and they all told us exactly the same thing. From automotive to consumer electronic manufacturing, virtually every industry has been negatively affected by the chip shortage. But what keeps me up at night is how the chip shortage is a threat to our national security. The world relies on the Indo-Pacific region for the lion's share of our chips. In fact, just one country, Taiwan, makes 63% of the advanced semiconductors in the world. If China continues to saber rattle and threaten its neighbors, the majority of the world could be at their mercy when it comes to our supply of these critical semiconductors. That wouldn't just spell bad news for consumers, it would hobble our national security capabilities. Advanced fighters, quantum computing, missile defense systems all rely upon semiconductors. An air defense interceptor alone contains 750 semiconductors. An over-reliance on other nations off our shores to produce the key components to our most vital defense assets is a huge, huge risk. It's an unacceptable risk. Put simply, we need to bolster our domestic semiconductor manufacturing, and we have no time to waste. As our friends at Samsung will tell you, chip making is not easy. In order to build a single chip, you need very expensive, highly advanced equipment, and you need skilled workers, and you need time. It can take months to create a single chip, and that's assuming you have the facility and the equipment to do so. We need more made in America chips that won't be compromised by aggression from the People's Republic of China, or who may threaten our global supply chain. Given this national security imperative, the United States government needs to have some skin in the game to help companies build here, because it's more expensive to build here in the United States than it is in countries over in Asia. Last year, I authored with bipartisan legislation called the Chips for America Act with one big goal in mind, and that is to shore up domestic semiconductor manufacturing. When this legislation became law earlier this year, it created a federal incentive program to add to the incentive program offered by our friends from Williamson County to encourage companies to build their foundries on U.S. soil. Before those incentives can roll out the door, though, there's just one thing that remains, and that is to get the funding to help us do that. Over the summer, the Senate passed a bill providing $52 billion in funding for the programs established by the CHIPS Act. Congressman Michael McCall has been my indispensable partner in the House of Representatives. And it's no accident that Congressman Carter is on the Appropriations Committee, who we're going to look to help get this across the line. Once they succeed, no pressure, no pressure. The two chambers will have to iron out our differences, and then the bill can go to President Biden for his signature. Of course, I had another goal in mind with this legislation: ensure that these chips wouldn't just be made in America, but hopefully be made in Texas. If all goes according to plan, the legislation will open up about $3 billion for each expanded semiconductor fabrication facility in Texas. And that's with a B. In the coming years, I hope Texas will become the U.S. hub for semiconductor manufacturing nationwide. Samsung is certainly leading the charge, and it's an honor to join you today to celebrate this huge investment that will serve as a boon to our region and our national security. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Cornyn, and thank you for your leadership on the CHIPS Act. It makes a tremendous difference for our country and for our state. We'll take a few questions.
Are there any plans to call a special session to call the legislature back for, again, a fourth special to renew Chapter 313, which is partially why companies like Samsung are choosing to invest in Texas before it expires at the end of 2022?
So first, I'll tell you that I'll be happy to get some off-topic questions. You were able to blend that into an on-topic question. As you know, a special session can be called at any time. No announcements today.
Governor, last week, ERCOT all released reports saying power grid should be okay for a normal winter, but could fail again if there's another extreme windstorm like Winter Storm Uri. How confident are you the power grid won't fail again like it did last winter? And if it does, would you call a special session for that?
So I'm extremely confident that the power grid is stable and resilient and reliable. And I've been working very closely with both the PUC chairman and the head of ERCOT, as well as the team that we've assembled at ERCOT. And if you know all the changes that they have already implemented, as well as additional changes they will continue to implement over the coming weeks, you will know that we will have a very robust, effective, and safe power grid. Let me just give you a couple of easy examples. Today, our power generation capacity is 15% greater than it was last February. Today already, there is winterization of all power generation facilities in the state of Texas. Fines will begin next week if there's any power generating facility that is not winterized. And then, candidly, most importantly, there is a different operational approach. Now they are proactive as opposed to reactive. What happened with the operators who have since lost their jobs, who were operating the grid last year, they waited until there was a crisis to respond. That's no way to run a power grid. And the new leaders of both the PUC and ERCOT realize that they will work in advance proactively. And very specifically, they will be summoning power days in advance in a dispatchable fashion so that they will be able to keep the power generators operating throughout whatever the winter weather may bring.
Governor, speaking of the grid, Governor, what would you say to the family of Connie Mae Ritchie, who died during the blackout because her catheter froze, and they blamed your policies, and they say that you were influenced by oil and gas money? What about that?
Well, first, every life matters, and every life is a loss. And candidly, I have prayed and continue to pray for all lives lost, and will continue to do so. But most importantly, we work to respond to the challenge that we face. The most important thing that we can do is to make sure this never happens again. And as I just articulated, we have taken measures needed to make sure it will not happen again. I told you what ERCOT and PUC have done. I did not mention, however, the almost a dozen laws that I signed that ensure greater resiliency in our power grid to make sure that no one will face danger again from a power failure.
Two more questions on Samsung, please. What incentives did the state provide for the new plan?
So first, I will tell you, obviously, this was a very competitive process, as Dr. Kim mentioned, but also as I mentioned. Then second, I will tell you that there are incentives that are involved at the federal level, at the state level, as well as at both the county and city level. So there's multi-tiered incentives. We can get you a line-by-line item of all.
Just asking for the state.
Yeah. So we'll get you the details of that.